3. Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today, a special Sunday edition of PWR Today. I'm the man they call Meathead, joined by the team. It's Matthew Thomas, and it's the lovely Linda Kay. Linda, you are the king of kings, but you are our queen. Where have you been?
Well, today I'm the sport of kings or queens.
I love it when you put them up on a glass.
Thank you. Just, showing support for our sponsors here. But I've been doing my thing, traveling, doing shows, and making rounds, meeting
You're
peeps,
making
shaking
towns,
hands,
right?
holding
You're
babies.
making towns?
Yes, exactly. But happy to be back. Happy to have all three of us back on together. It's been a minute since the three of us have been on together.
That's right. Matthew Thomas, you're a part of Stark Industries, in your new career. You took over the job of the assistant Natalie, right?
Yeah,
Man too.
If you check my LinkedIn profile, that's exactly what it says.
She's way cuter than you, but we don't hire by looks, Matthew.
You do what you can,
Well, here's what we can do. We can talk about our sponsors. First off, Matthew Thomas is going to tell us about the first sponsor.
Oh, that's Collar and Elbow brand. They make apparel that you can browse their virtual catalog at collarandelbowbrand.com. It's like a Sears Roebuck catalog, except online. You'll love it. Enter promo code LindaK, LINDAKAY, save 10%, and get stocked up like Linda and Meathead.
There we go. And Linda, we got another friend as well.
That would be ProWrestlingInsurance.com. Make sure you are covered if you get hurt, because if you do get hurt, by having this affordable supplemental coverage from ProWrestlingInsurance.com, you get a check written out to you to help pay for those medical bills. Make sure to go to ProWrestlingInsurance.com, speak with our great friend Chris, let him tell you a little bit more about how you can be protected if you get hurt. And it does apply to anybody. Sure, it's called ProWrestlingInsurance.com, but it is available to anybody.
And anything, and event coverage as well.
Yes, yep. If you are looking to hold an event and you need that coverage, make sure to go to ProWrestlingInsurance.com to find out how to get covered as well. And one final thing about sponsorship, I know I've already put it on the glass numerous times, but it is Forbidden Door Day. So I love this collar and elbow shirt, one of my favorites. Again, I'm the sport of kings. We're rather the king of sports.
We're almost getting into the sport of kings in a contact variety with helmets. My favorite song of all time by LL Cool J is nothing he ever released on record, but it was on the soundtrack to Wildcats. It's the sport of kings, better than diamond rings. That's why we're here to sing football. We were almost in football season. I don't know if Denver is still in the NFL or not, but I know our Green Bay Packers, led by the love of our lives, Jordan Love, will be leading us to the promised land.
Hey, there was almost a football score in Denver yesterday. Rockies losing 25-1 to the Angels.
Wow.
25-1. Angels had like a 13-run third inning, I believe.
I would love to talk trash about it, but didn't the Rockies sweep the Brewers this year?
Yeah, I think so. They turn it when they need to.
Yeah. There was a USFL playoff game. I saw that.
Oh, there you go. All right. Let's get into professional wrestling, and we're going to bookend the show talking PWR Fantasy Draft. The team they call Meatheads, the reigning and defending PWR 2023 champions, are not in first place, and they're not in second place either. They are trailing. They are currently in dead last with only 445 points due to the pickup that we have to talk about right now. I have dropped Cameron Grimes to the moon, and I'm going to the moon with Will Ospreay for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view tonight, who will win the IWGP United States Championship against Kenny Omega. So, the leader of our 23-24 fantasy draft, smile for us, Linda, because it's you. Linda Kay, the team longtime, 730 points. Team Fear Boners at 665. That's led by Matthew Thompson, then in last place. At 445, the team they call Meatheads. Matthew, you have something to say about your fear boners?
Yeah, I was just going to say that statement is correct.
It is correct. You get a fear boner, like you get scared, and all of a sudden...
That statement is erect.
That statement is erect. Ha, ha. All right. We start off with that, and let's start off with a little bit of AEW. This is going to be AEW pretty much centric show here. We're going to start with, actually, you know what? Let's switch it up. Let's start SmackDown, because we're going to be going all AEW the rest of the show. And let's start off with the opening match, LA Knight and Rey Mysterio Rey Mysterio there to give the rub, it looks like, to everybody. Rey Mysterio laying down for LA Knight. You know, the LA Knight Bray Wyatt program that was before WrestleMania, that was that Pitch Dark match. Remember, where they had the neon glow and all that, which was a cool concept. Yeah, the Mountain Dew Pitch Black, and you had the Wyatt 6 kind of debuting in there. We haven't seen them since. And actually, in reverse, that shot LA Knight, to the top.
To the moon, if you will.
Yeah. To the moon.
Hey, this is a pretty big deal. And a lot of times building up to a pay-per-view this close, like, yeah, you're going to have matches with the combatants in Money in the Bank. But LA Knight beating Rey Mysterio clean. I was going to say in the middle of the ring. It was kind of towards the side of the ring. It wasn't technically in the middle of the ring. That's a big deal. And each week that LA Knight reception gets louder and louder and louder. I've been saying it for a long time, but I think they need to pull the trigger next week on Money in the Bank on LA Knight.
Yeah. Linda K, LA Knight, the talk was that the reason LA Knight was brought up to SmackDown and had his name changed to Max Dupree because Vince McMahon thought he was too old and didn't see him as a worker. Well, Vince had stepped away. Triple H and LA Knight, Eli Drake, sat and talked, and he says, look, I can go in the ring and I can talk. Why don't you put me back in the ring? Look at what we've gotten since. This guy's a shooting star.
Yeah, while I did enjoy Maximum Male Models with Max Dupree, I think having that split, having him back as LA Knight, obviously the better choice. Look at how well received he is right now. He's definitely a front runner in winning the men's Money in the Bank. And then on the flip side, we still have Maximum Male Models run by Maxine Dupree.
But is Maxine even with them anymore? To be honest, I mean, she's been with Alpha Academy for a while now.
I was just gonna say though, but which is skyrocketing her. On the flip side, I still technically we haven't been told that Maximum Male Models does not exist. Personally, I would like to see more of them, but looks like having Maxine with Alpha Academy is doing better as far as the reception for
Linda. Let me ask you this: can we look back at the last couple of years? And Matthew, I'll give you a chance on this question as well. Can we look back at the last couple of years and really, because of the change, just a drastic change in creative, can we literally close our eyes and pinpoint which ones are Vince McMahon led changes and which ones are Triple H led changes? Does it seem pretty cut and dry, like when you look at it?
I think a lot of assumptions be made with that. I mean, I know there's always a lot of is that the right word? Murmurings.
Murmur.
When it's quote Vince, creative led show. So, I mean, I guess it's one to interpret, but
I mean, because there's a certain talent that hasn't been on SmackDown in a little bit, Matthew, and he was only getting shenanigan type wins, little sneaky wins, interference wins, and he's the United States champion, Austin Theory.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I don't think when you look back on it, it's going to be that cut and dry. If you really go back and look, the bloodline angle and the Sammy being involved, that actually started during the Vince era. Now, I don't think that it necessarily would have been cultivated into what it was if this was purely Vince era, but I think it's a little bit kind of...
I think we could separate that one a little bit because that's going to be Paul Heyman. That's all going to be Paul Heyman.
Right. And then here's the thing, too. I just kind of want to circle this back around to talking about the LA Knight. And my goodness, I'm at a point now where when I think about him, when I think about the name, I'm not critical of the name or the music. I've gotten used to it. And maybe that was because we had Max Dupree during the interim. We're like, all right, LA Knight's not that bad, but hey,
that music sucks ass. I'm sorry. I'm going to be pretty blunt about it. That music sucks ass. It's terrible.
It's still getting the pop, though.
Yeah.
The name doesn't hurt anymore. How about that?
Okay. I agree there.
The name is okay, but that music is... honestly, somebody made that on their synthesizer in 1986, in their basements. No, that music is terrible.
So, Meathead, next time to Wisconsin, I'm going to make sure if I have the privilege to be in your automotive vehicle, I'm going to make sure that your music service of choice gets stuck on repeat, and that's all that can be played.
There's probably a channel on Sirius XM for that, but it doesn't tune in my car. I can't seem to get that to tune in. You know what I mean? All right, so LA Knight on the rise. Returning Liv Morgan comes to challenge along with Raquel Rodriguez or Gonzalez. Which one is she going by now? It's Gonzalez, right? Rodriguez, okay. But they're challenging the new unified, undisputed women's tag team champions, and we knew this was going to be the case. It's Ronda Rousey, it's Shayna Baszler. Sadly for Matthew Thomas, though, both of their title wins were on television. No points for you, sir.
Can I at least get a defense on pay-per-view? Is this match at least going to take place at Money in the Bank so I can get a defense?
Sounds like you got a fear boner over it. Linda Kay, your thoughts on Ronda and Shayna as the new women's tag team champions?
Best choices right now, I feel. I mean, it's kind of been going that way, especially since Mania. So, I mean, I think it's great to have them as champions. And I really didn't think that Liv would be back so soon. You had Raquel at ringside watching and kind of got the wheels turning there. And then all of a sudden, now Liv is back. But as far as it being the competitors, the strongest, the most dominant competitors, I guess, right now for
real fighters. They're fighters.
Yeah. For Shayna and for Ronda, I think having Raquel and then the returning Liv makes it very exciting.
Having them come out in their gis as well, that always does it for me. See them come out dressed. My girl's getting a big kick out of it as well. But I don't think that Raquel or Liv have a chance against them. And I think these two women should run roughshod through the division until a big surprise happens and they accidentally lose their belts. Charlotte Flair back wrestling. She took on Lacey Evans, and I want Lacey Evans to be better, and I don't know what's going on. I really don't. And this, it showcased Lacey a little bit, right? She got to do some work with Charlotte Flair, but this was never going to be her match. It was always going to be Charlotte Flair. Now, obviously, it was always going to be Asuka interfering, and is she taunting Lacey or is she taunting Charlotte when she beat up Charlotte and then did the salute over and over? I was confused.
I don't know, but that's what I like with this kind of unhinged Asuka character. Like, she's going to do both persons thing, and, you can't beat it.
Linda, let's talk about the main event. We saw some issues earlier where Solo went after Ridge, and that got a match between Sheamus and Solo. Really, the last thing we see on our TVs before SmackDown goes off the air is a double boot to the face of Solo Sikoa. It's on the splash page at WWE.com. It's Solo's face crunched up with a couple sneakers right in their face.
Yeah. Civil War. That's what we are getting right now. I mean, we've got one more go home SmackDown ahead of Money in the Bank, and we know Roman will be back. This is the right way, the right damn it, I was trying to say trajectory. Yeah. Into that huge Civil War tag team match taking place this Saturday.
Yeah, this coming Saturday. Yeah, and that'll be in London at the O2 Arena. So SmackDown at the O2, it'll be Charlotte versus who she's taking on. She's taking on the women's champion, Asuka, Charlotte and Asuka. I don't know why I spaced on that. Bianca Belair, a little story I do like from SmackDown. Bianca Belair continuously talking to Scrap Daddy, and Scrap Daddy pushing her off. Matthew, we talked a little bit off air, and Linda, I want to hear your thoughts first, but we seem to kind of like this. Bianca, is there a change coming?
Sure seems like it could be going that way, or I mean, not necessarily having her be a heel, but just a slight character shift. I don't know.
I'm interested in Bianca.
Huh?
I said I'm interested in Bianca finally.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm a huge Bianca fan. She has been on Team Long Time for a long time now. I like this. I like where it's going.
Matthew Thomas, you had said in the off air, you had said, you know what, it's got me interested in Bianca for the first time in a long time. I said for the first time ever for me. Yeah. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, even if it's not an outright heel turn, it's something you can sink your teeth into. It is a storyline. We're seeing Bianca character
development.
Yeah, and we're seeing what motivates her. Like, yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, it's outside of. I will say I was invested in Bianca pre her winning the title when she came up from NXT. That initial push, yeah, but then after that, we got the same stuff for years. And so now we have actually got a storyline that is not just Bianca telling us each week she's the EST. There's something that we can get development in week after week.
I know I'm going to get mocked in the comments section, But what does the EST mean? We all know what it means. She's the strongest. She's the smartest. She's the fat. We know what that means. But what does EST mean for Bianca Belair? We've never been told really what that is. We've never been given that character development of what the EST really truly means. I need that, and I'm hoping this is part of it.
How about this? When they do turn her heel eventually, I want her to still use that, except EST becomes an acronym for something very heelish, huh?
There you go. Evil Stratton. Tiffany. I don't
Everybody
know.
sucks today or something.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, everybody sucks. And then I don't know, what about the
Oh, I thought I heard something else. I was like, that's an S?
that's the
Wow. Let's shift gears and let's go into AEW. We're not going to do any dynamites. We're going to get right into Rampage, Collision, and then we'll talk Forbidden Door. And again, you know, I've gone in a handful of Forbidden Doors myself. Sometimes I wasn't allowed in there. I was going in the exit when I should have been. Never mind. Let's get into Rampage. And
I went in Dave Hero's Forbidden Door with you, didn't I?
Whoa!
There's the back entrance to Bliss,
Whoa!
right?
I snuck you into Dave Hero's Forbidden Door, but I didn't go in with you at the same time.
Okay, just making sure.
Yikes. No. Let's talk Rampage. I was at the Wintrust in Chicago, Illinois. Hot crowd. An international loving crowd as well. Because, you know, anytime we've seen these shows at the Wintrust, they pop for Punk, they pop for New Japan Wrestling. Because remember, New Japan, when they've done the American tours, have done shows in Chicago. So Chicago is a New Japan stronghold, if you will, not strong style. But the show opens up right away with an 8-man tag. It was chaos. Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, and Yo versus the United Empire. And I love the United Empire. Jeff Cobb, Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay, and the Mogul Embassies, Swerve Strickland. Let me ask you both. Matthew, we'll start with you. If we have a Forbidden Door pay-per-view, this is a special thing. These guys are special attractions. We're gonna have Will Ospreay on an AEW pay-per-view. Or we're gonna have Okada. We're gonna have Tanahashi. We're gonna have all these guys. What in the wide world of sports are you doing having them on free TV with matches 2 days before? Go.
Yeah, now that formula does not make a lot of sense. What they're trying to do, they're trying to familiarize you with these people by not just giving you packages, but by having them wrestle. But it takes away the special attraction. Absolutely. And I don't think that time frame, that's not enough time to see them in action to really buy into. I think I can make the case that you're going to sell more pay-per-views if you don't have them wrestle for free at all. Build them up in packages, build them up in the AEW live audience's reaction, because apparently everybody in attendance knows exactly who everybody is. And that speaks a lot to the AEW fan base. But yeah, I think
not every AEW fan base. Like I said, it doesn't happen in every city.
Right.
But
yeah,
sorry,
by giving it away for free, or disservice rather.
Linda.
I was just say to that point, if you're going to have these debuts to some of the audience that may not be as familiar with the New Japan stars, having it take place in Chicago to, again, have everybody hear that pop, to let them know how huge of stars these guys are. And
if this were politically incorrect, I would have just hit the button for you and gave you a point, because that was a great point.
Oh yeah, I remember that show.
So
that was my point.
Yeah, no, it's great. And, you know, I just complained earlier that, you know, and I did it last year too, I don't know who the hell these people are. So to that point, yes, I'm getting to see them, but it's not as special when I see them on pay-per-view because I just seen them twice. I understand the business part of it, right? You're booking these guys in, you're going to bring them in for a week. They're here. We might as well make them work and get them to wrestle a match. I understand that 100%.
Throw something else out there, maybe for Forbidden Door 3, that I wonder if this would actually work. You're going to have Forbidden Door. You know it's pay-per-view. You know when it's going to take place. You don't announce the card ahead of time. You have to buy it to see who shows up at the Forbidden Door. That, for me, would intrigue me. Don't know if it's a wise idea.
Now, does the Forbidden Door go to Japan next year? Or at least LA, because they have the LA dojo.
LA would be a great...
Because they got LA dojo.
Makes sense,
so,
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cross there. So
yeah, but just to kind of and on this point, I do like the unveilings, if you will, to the audience that, again, may not be as familiar, but just at least getting that face to face. Like, they didn't necessarily have to have a match this week, but I love getting that face to face, knowing who they are, who they'll be. It just gets a little bit more excited. Just kind of like
Linda, you and I I was going to say, you and I in Milwaukee last year, we got to see the go home for Forbidden Door happen right in front of us on Dynamite. We got to see all these. Again, the crowd kept popping every time these new people came out. And who was it that stood in the ring staring at each other? Was it Claudio and somebody?
I think it was Mox.
Yeah, I think
It
it
was Mox.
was. Yeah.
It was Mox and who? Was it Mox and Tanahashi? Where they just stared at each other and everybody's just
And everybody
brawling
else
around
was
the
like,
ring.
yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was absolutely entertaining, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I got a huge kick out of it, but
Mhm.
yes.
Well, yeah,
I
but
mean, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that helps. I mean, the match just got announced with Adam Cole and
Baby. Yeah.
and
Dirty
Lawler,
Tom,
Nasty.
Dirty Tom Lawler, I believe it is.
Yeah. So it's building something. I am actually really truly excited for this pay per view, even though I'm not as familiar with some of the guys, but I am now. I've been watching a lot of AEW programming, and I think it's great. I think it's pretty well done.
And let's talk about this segment coming up here. It's Filthy, Team Filthy. Yeah. Filthy Tom and Royce Isaacs ambush Adam Cole in the ring, baby. And MJF attended to save his blind tag team partner. Matthew, I'm going to get to you in a second, but Linda, I'm going to go to you first. Are you okay with AEW using this very tired WWE trope as far as the two enemies have to be tag team partners?
What was that again? I'm sorry.
WWE's trope of, we're going to have these two guys that are going to battle. You got to be tag team partners first. Are you okay with AEW using this very old and tired WWE trope?
Yeah. He's on another promotion, and it's building something more between MJF and Adam Cole. I think I don't know. It made me laugh this past week when MJF was having the shenanigans on trying to help Adam Cole. I'm okay with it.
Matthew?
It's the old strange bedfellows angle. Okay, so I'm okay with it in this instance because A, AEW hasn't done it a ton. B,
I don't think they've done it, to be honest with it.
WWE would traditionally do it about a week or two prior to an already announced match between the two people. So you would have Cena and Orton announced for a pay-per-view. Then 2 weeks before, you would have them contend for the tag team titles. 1 week.
Sometimes winning. Yeah.
Yeah. Have them win the tag team titles. And then I think if it's anybody to do it with, it's MJF because, my goodness, it was so entertaining. I guess this is Rampage here, but it was so entertaining watching him come to the aid of Adam Cole, but he's got to take off his watch. He's got to do this or that. And that was fun. And then, yeah, they're little small, elements about it and it's for a tag team. It's for a tag team tournament. So it's not, I'm okay with it for right now.
Okay. All right. Trios tag match, the Acclaimed, Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Daddy Ass against, wow, AEW didn't even put the names up there. It is listed as 3 local competitors. And Matthew, that's kind of what I wanted to lead into.
Yeah.
What has happened to Rampage? Honestly, it's feeling like Sunday Night Heat.
Especially now having a new show you're trying to promote on Saturday. It had unfortunately been going that way for a while.
Which is 2 hours and loaded.
And I want to tell you,
live.
I think they did themselves a big disservice by announcing that this was the first time MJF had ever been on the show. In a show that's been on the air since August of 21. The fact that you're one of your main stars, your champion, has not even been on the program in nearly.
And he's going to wrestle his first match ever next week too. They continue to do it.
Yeah, I think that really, it's not building that show up like you think it is. It's really kind of making that the B show. So unfortunately, people aren't conditioned to expect big things developing or to expect a major moment or a surprise initial appearance by anybody on Rampage.
Okay. So in a segment that went, even though I enjoyed it, probably 10 minutes too long. After the match, QTV's Harley Cameron walks onto the ramp with 2 gentlemen wearing white masks. Now I'm staring going, oh, that's Aaron Solo and Lee Moriarty. I mean, it's got to be, right? And then I'm listening to this Harley Cameron start rapping. Holy smokes. You know what? I know on TV, Linda, that they said that she was terrible. She was not terrible.
I enjoyed it. Talking about how fast she was spitting those lines. I mean, come on. I was very impressed. And something you just wouldn't have expected. You've seen Harley in the QTV, TMZ type segments, which are quite entertaining. You've seen her at ringside a little bit. This was a really unique way to introduce her, if you will. And I personally, I would help her get over more. I mean, that's really impressive. And then it led to something very memorable.
Led to something else as well. Harley begins to rap, and then Bowen stops her, is asked if Harley got kicked in the head too many times by a kangaroo, because she kept saying to Anthony Bowens, I know that you see us being together, having kids. He goes, have you seen my gear? I'm gay. I mean, the crowd just popped huge for that. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Now, here's the thing. QT Marshall walks onto the ramp with Aaron Solo. Oh, because we're smart enough wrestling fans. Tony Khan got me. Oh, I thought Solo was one of the guys underneath there, because I'm looking, I could see Moriarty under the side, right? Like the other guy's got a little hair hanging out. I'm like, yeah, it's Aaron Solo. I mean, come on. This is easy. This is wrestling. Oh, it's not Aaron Solo. Who is it? Oh, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny TV is here. Linda, your thoughts on John Morrison, John Nitro, John Impact, John Ring of Honor, John GLCW, whatever his name is. Johnny TV is here.
Well, he was on an AEW for a minute.
He did. He wrestled in a tournament, the first ever Owen Hart tournament. I think he had
But he was not Johnny TV. So here's the debut, if you will.
He was Johnny Dynamite.
Yes. Yeah, no, I loved it. Huge fan of his. And, we have Ty Valkyrie now on AEW as well. Makes sense. No, it was great to see. I like to have him back on. So entertaining and just so unique in his parkour in the ring. And I think that's just bringing a whole other element to our AEW airwaves.
Matthew, thoughts on Johnny TV coming out?
It was a surprise, and it felt like a big deal. I am looking forward to seeing, where they're going. I mean, all right, I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth here, but
Let's head first. Go.
Yeah, I like the fact that it was a surprise and then it was in the middle of Rampage, but it also concerns me for Johnny TV that it was a surprise in the middle of Rampage and it was not
not live.
Yeah, and it was not a major, at the top of the hour, it was not one of the major spots on a TV show. I guess it was a TV show, but
yeah, and it gave away the surprise. You already read about it.
Right. Yeah. If you read those kind of things on dirtysheets.com. So Johnny GLCW, Johnny PWR is now Johnny TV on AEW. The Owen Hart Foundation Women's Quarterfinal was Anna JAS taking on Sky Blue. Sky Blue is going to advance. And then the main event, Jungle Boy Jack Perry against Just Five Guys Doki. Who is the Just Five Guys? I've got no bill to this. Who the hell is Dookie or Doki or whatever his name is? The guy can wrestle, right? But I've never heard of him before.
Yeah, there's a Five Guys down the street from me. Maybe
right.
He's over there.
Matthew, have you ever done Five Guys?
A couple times, yeah. It's been a little while, but
that's a video we never want to see.
Like, I'm serious. I got to make sure to dive on in because I never have, honestly.
Notice I didn't go to you, Linda, for that because I'm trying to save you on that one. So I went to Matthew with the Five Guys joke.
Never tried Five Guys.
Not at the same time, right? Yeah, we've never tried Five Guys at the same time. I'll just loop us all together.
A recap video next week. I can go and get it today, and then Linda, by the time we meet next week, and we can review Five Guys.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Jungle Boy wins. Jungle Boy is going to have a chance at the New Japan Pro Wrestling's Heavyweight Championship tonight at the Forbidden Door. And to be honest, you look at him, and Sonata being the champion, you go, Jungle Boy? Okay. He's not going to win, but I assume they're going to put on a banger of a match, speaking of doing Five Guys. So,
well, I will say, though, now we know that Doki is a part of Five Guys, who Sonata is the leader we're a part of, right? And
right, he's one of the Five Guys, apparently.
Yeah, but I loved Sonata's look, and
the look is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The look, that's champion. Right? That's Matthew's line. That guy looks like a champion.
Yeah. Can I say, though, talking about the fans and the boos for Jungle Boy?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That was a AEW. That was an AEW crowd that wanted more New Japan than AEW. So
CM Punk got the booze too.
yeah.
Oh wait,
Well,
we're talking about. Did we get to Collision yet? Sorry.
no, we're not at Collision yet.
Never mind.
Hey, no booze. CM Punk is straight edge, so no booze for CM Punk.
Aha.
Oh.
With a Z. Yeah. Let's move on to Collision. And Collision, again, we had this little talk pre-show, but I'll bring it forward into the program here. The look, the feel, the sound, the matches. This is their A.1. This is their 1.1 and their 1.0 on Dynamite. This is their show. Collision looks like a star. And to be honest, that opening shot of CM, FTR, and Ricky going back and forth with Bullet Club Gold and the Guns, that's how you build a main event. Matthew.
And it's a very well-paced show, too. It's not
bam. It flew by.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
Flew by.
Stuff's given time, and it's given appropriate build within the context of when the matches are announced. No, 2 weeks in, I think they've got this is a really, really well-done product.
How long does Rampage last if this show looks as good as it does?
I don't know.
You know, they got moved a lot on Friday nights because of the NBA and because of the NHL and because of NCAA. They could get still moved on Saturday, but remember, they've been doing Battle of the Belts on Saturday nights. Do we ever see Battle of the Belts again?
I don't think
I hope not, because that was pretty much like, I don't know if a title ever changed hands on Battle.
But you know what they were getting? They were getting ratings, which led us to get Collision. And I think that we lose Rampage within the next 2 years, depending on the TV deal.
I'll tell you what I would be much more interested in, as hard of a time as they've had with their women's division, giving a full hour to the women's division on Friday nights.
I'd be okay with that.
Ooh,
I mean, you'd have to throw in Ring of Honor in there as well. So, hey, is there any Ring of Honor?
You got New Japan right now too.
Yeah.
I want to add though with Collision, just the changes that make the product different, yet still AEW. We've got Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness as your commentator.
Yeah.
We've got Dasha as your main ring announcer. We have Lexi, who's the main backstage,
yep.
And the opening package. Saturday night's all right for fighting. I mean, that's Saturday. Because when you think of AEW, like Dynamite and Rampage, you're hearing, it's a different kind of in your face style type music, and instead it's pretty nostalgic.
And it's the good Saturday nights all right for fighting. It wasn't Nickelback. So
yeah.
Nickelback.
No, Sir Elton was a big get for AEW.
I might put him on the team long time.
Let's talk about the matches real quick here. And for the 2 hours, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches, I believe it was. We had the main event of CM Punk and FTR with Ricky Starks taking on Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, Juice Robinson, and the Guns. We had Brody King and Andrade El Idolo, Swerve Strickland, and Tanahashi, again, to my point of having this special attraction show up on TV the night before the pay-per-view. We got an announcement of the partner of Sting and Darby Allin in the 6-man tag. I still don't know who the hell that guy is either. We got words from Miro, the Redeemer, talking about how he's renounced as God. We also got Nyla Rose and Willow Nightingale in the Owen Hart tournament. And Christian Cage announced what's going on with the TNT title. Apparently, Luchasaurus never won it. Apparently, Christian Cage won the title. We also had Powerhouse Hobbs in action. So, again, I thought, to Matthew's point, a very well-paced show. Let's get to it. Giovanni starts in the ring with Sting and Darby Allin to find out who the partner will be tonight. Chris Jericho not walking out last night at Collision in his high-heel boots. Do you guys see the pictures of this?
I saw the boots.
I didn't look at that. I don't look at a man's feet. Chris Jericho last Wednesday night on Dynamite was wearing high-heeled boots. Very rock and roll.
I think they were purple too. Oh yeah, he's rocking.
Purple tiger stripe or leopard stripe. Yeah. Your thoughts on Sting and Darby Allin mentioning who their partner is going to be? Did you know who he is, and where are we going with it?
Not as familiar. The crowd was though. I think this is great getting everything in place. I know Sammy Guevara wasn't there, but we did have Darby mention something about him. If he aligned with him, he would get back at him. I'm not really sure about that, but I just love the new partnership. The new didn't they say that on the air? Or is
The
Jericho?
new Sex Gods?
Yes.
With
I
Minoru
love seeing that
Suzuki.
together. This is great.
Yeah. Another guy that is supposed to be a special deal that he's over here and he's sitting in the back behind Chris Jericho. Like he's part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Minoru Suzuki, obviously, when you think Sex God, it's Minoru Suzuki. I mean, the different lines that he has in his hair, Matthew Thomas.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't know who this guy was. It's probably going to be a good match, but yeah, it's I'm right there in kind of the same camp. And what I kind of feel come Forbidden Door time is like I'm hanging with a group of people in high school that's really into like a lot of indie bands and stuff. And it's like, oh my goodness, you don't know.
How did you not know about Flaming Lips, or how did you not know about Scorched Butthole? They're one of the greatest bands in this entire neighborhood.
You don't know who Honey Badger Drip is? Oh my goodness.
Right, exactly.
But we're getting Sting and Jericho, so I think that's like the big thing from this match.
Yeah.
As well.
And does that build to All Out? Is All Out the September one?
Ooh,
Does that build to Jericho and Sting? And by the way, side note here, folks, 70,000 tickets confirmed sold for All Out already. Wow. 70,000. That is, Matthew, I said when this was announced, I'd be really excited for them if they could get the 45. 70,000 tickets sold for Wembley Stadium. You know, again, they've got such a great thing. They've rented the building, right? And they can configure the building whatever they want. You know, if you're only selling 45, the stage is up here. And then this is your place and you sell it up. They sold 70,000. The stage keeps moving back and back and back. This will be full. There will be no empty seats on hard camera. This is a show that I honestly wish I was going to.
You know what I really want to see, and I'm not sure where he's at contractually or anything, but I really want to see some kind of way Harry Smith wrestling on this show.
I'd be okay with that, Linda.
Yeah, I mean, he does the blood sport stuff. I mean, we know he does the shoot wrestling, and that is very appealing with some of the AEW crowd, the strong style and whatnot. So
right,
that would be huge. Yeah, him and Moxley have had.
And it's a big show. We need the big chain as well. If we're having this big a show, we need Harry Smith with that big gold.
Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. Did I say Harry Smith? Yeah. What's that? What's Davey Boy's son? Is that
Harry Smith?
Okay. No, okay. For a second in my head, I thought I had like gotten it conflated with Teddy Hart.
No. Teddy Hart, he can bring his 27 cats with him. No, Harry Smith is the one that we want.
Yeah.
I stand correct from the first time. Harry Smith, yes.
Yes, but I was saying that Harry Smith and Mox have had blood sport matches, so that's already something there.
All right, so another match that we...
Who's listening from AEW? Right here.
Another match that we had on Collision was Tanahashi taking on Swerve Strickland. Great match. And, you know, I love Swerve Strickland's look because he's part of the Mogul Embassy. So Prince Nana actually got him an outfit that looked like he belonged in the Mogul, you know, or the embassy. So I really loved it.
Wearing the...
Right. Yeah, I thought it was absolutely perfect. MJF appears on the screen to kind of mock, obviously, Tanahashi as well. Then we get a match with Brody King, Linda, taking on Andrade El Idolo. This was a weird thing because it was a DQ. We don't get DQs in AEW, right? And then Andrade got beat down, and Julia held up Andrade's mask. It's not like we stole the mask from him, right? He takes it off before the match every time. Your thoughts, Linda, on the House of Black and Andrade El Idolo?
Well, it's building up to Andrade and Malachi. I mean, last week on the debut of Collision, we got Andrade and Buddy, and now he's facing Brody. Or we got to get the Malachi, right? We got to have that happen. I think it's great. I think a lot of the focus of Collision, obviously, we know CM Punk. We get Andrade, we get Miro, and a lot of what we're already seeing as far as promotions for the show, and Andrade being welcome back onto our programming on a regular basis, him being featured a lot. And then, of course, him using the figure eight. I mean, could we mention that?
Yeah, absolutely. And we love it, too. You know, I want to talk about Christian Cage, Linda, real quick here. And Christian Cage, perfectly in this line, he goes, I will take this championship to new heights, and we will remain the face of TNT now and forever. Are we going to get Luchasaurus to finally not be the black, you know, just tar covered dinosaur that he is, and back to maybe the friendly, loving dinosaur that he is?
I don't know. I love Christian Cage and how he's so
Yeah, I don't want
good.
Christian. I don't want Christian to change into a
Yeah.
face. I
Yeah,
want
yeah. No, I'm
it
just
would be
saying that.
Luchasaurus. Yeah.
Will that lead to Lucha? They just flipped him to being the different dinosaur, so I don't think he'll go back to the friendly green one.
Well, he's
Especially
3,000 or
as
three
Jungle
million
Boy's legal.
years old. Yeah. We need to bring back Marco Stunt and try to get into his head.
Here's what I want to see happen. I want him to lose the mask and reveal himself as a very well spoken and educated paleontologist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like having Georgie Animal Steel be a professor, a college professor, where, you shed the gimmick and all of a sudden E=MC², or something like that. So, Matthew, your thoughts on Christian Cage controlling Luchasaurus and tapping him on the head when it's time to get down? Down, boy.
I like it, and I like Christian doing the promos. I like Christian holding the belt. I think that's a big deal. And
does the turn happen with him tapping on his head and then Luchasaurus dropping him into, Outsider's Edge or something like that?
Possible. It's possible.
All right. Big match between Willow Nightingale and Nyla Rose. Advancing to the semifinals is Willow Nightingale. They've got a rocket on her back, Matthew.
Yeah, and I think she's got a really good she comes across really well. I think that she's got big things in store for her future.
Scorpio Sky, Matthew, as well, backstage. That segment's done. Yeah, I like that, Linda. Thank you. That segment's done, but I'm excited to see Scorpio Sky get back and wrestle again. I don't know if you've heard, whatever the deal is. Welcome back. Matthew, you're looking for Dan Lambert to maybe come back with him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I give me Dan Lambert as much as you give me Dan Lambert every single show.
Yeah, please no. Powerhouse Hobbs and Jeremy Prophet, at least AEW named him on their website, and Powerhouse Hobbs bludgeoned him. I mean, honestly, the description of this match is 2.5 sentences.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
Okay. Linda, your thoughts on Powerhouse just kind of crushing through everybody?
I think that's great. I mean, it's almost a reintroduction that's been saying a lot lately, but that helps. That's great. We had the Book of Hobbs vignettes, which almost made him come off like he was going to be a face, and now he's just a stronger heel, and he is a powerhouse. And I think that's a great way to keep building him up. It's kind of like what they did with Wardlow too.
Yeah. And we saw Wardlow smash up Powerhouse Hobbs' car right outside the old U.S. Cellular Arena. So, main event time, the 8-man tag team match, AEW World Tag Team Champions, FTR, when was the last time they defended those belts? Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, CM Punk and Absolute Ricky Starks. Great promo at the beginning of the show again, by the way. Against Bullet Club Gold, Jay White and Juice Robinson. I love Juice Robinson, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like dirty Southern insane. And the Guns, awesome Cold Gun. And this was a great match over and over with the heels getting over. Linda, it's the Guns and Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah. And now I can bring back the booze for CM Punk, or the mixed reaction. Yeah. I shouldn't just say booze, but and BOOS.
Yeah.
Booze.
Yes.
I
right, because you can't bring booze to CM Punk.
Yeah. I loved it. It's great. It just makes everything more exciting and makes Collision more of a must watch to see how different the reaction, and not just as a Punk, but he is a big part of that show, and it's interesting to see how the crowd reacts each and every city.
You make a great point. He's not just a big part of the show. Do you pay attention to the intro, the opening package? He's on there 3 times. He's the beginning, he's the middle, and he's the end. That is the CM Punk show, Matthew.
No, and I'm not. A lot of times, I feel like wrestling companies go to a multi-man tag match a little bit too much because they don't really have much else to do. The case these 2 weeks with Collision, these multi-man tag matches have felt very, very important. And there's been a crowd investment, and the Punk reaction was interesting. So last week, Chicago, it's going to be a pro Punk crowd. This is interesting. I think maybe Canada is going to be a little bit more severe mixed reaction than you're going to get elsewhere. But they started out mixed, and I think towards the end of that show, it was a very anti-Punk crowd. So I look forward to tonight to kind of see what we get to see if that extends. And then I really look forward, once they get out of Chicago, once they get out of Canada, to seeing what the markets and the reaction for Punk.
Okay, you guys ready to talk Forbidden Door?
Sure.
It is time tonight on pay-per-view, on your Bleacher Reports, on your Fight TVs. Matthew, I'm going to be watching on my cable provider. Linda, I don't know where you're going to be watching, but I know you'll be able to see it as well. It is available tonight, Forbidden Door. It's the second year of this. I have more investment now in the big names that wrestled last year because I got to see them, right? I like Okada, and he's going to have an amazing match with Brian Danielson. Bryan Danielson, that was Dave Hero's word. Kenny Omega is going to take on Will Ospreay. I have picked up Will Ospreay for the team that they call Meatheads because I believe he's going to be winning the New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think it's the IWGP United States Championship, right? I want to get championship. So I'm a big fan of that championship. Let's run down the card and talk about the matches. AEW World Championship match. By the way, did you guys catch this in commentary? The opening match of the pay-per-view will be MJF taking on the ace of the universe, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Matthew, thoughts, predictions?
Yeah, MJF's retaining here.
Okay. Linda K.
Same. But what a way to kick that off, huh? It's interesting. I mean, I know this pay-per-view is New Japan heavy, still AEW, but the AEW champion's kicking it off. Different, but I like it.
Again, a match I'm really, the Rainmaker. And that's, help me with the first name.
Rain?
Stop. Kazuhachi Okada. I can say Okada, but I can never say his first name properly. So Bryan Danielson and Okada. Okada to me seems like the Randy Orton of our generation. Linda K, thoughts, predictions?
I think we're going to see some interference from the BCC. Yes, the BCC. And it's going to be Daniel Bryan winning. Bryan Danielson due to interference. But we don't know that the ref misses that. And we're going to have Bryan Danielson winning.
Okay. Matthew Thomas.
Danielson needs a big win. Like, we've kind of seen Danielson.
Does he?
He's not going to be hurt without it, but I think that I want his AEW. I want him to have more accolades in AEW, and I think this could be the best you can do for right now because he's been palling around with his buddies in the BCC and doing the commentary thing, but I want him to get something, even if it's with BCC interference, I want him to get something, to call his own, a little feather in his proverbial cap, if you will.
Gotcha. IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship match, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. I thought this should be the main event, but it's probably going to be Danielson and Okada. And Tanahashi, MJF will open up the show. So Kenny Omega is the champion currently. He, even though he's an AEW talent, he is the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship match. They've built this actually for a good amount of time. Will Ospreay keeps talking about how Kenny left him bloody, literally covered in his own blood. So Will Ospreay, I believe, with the pickup to the team they call Meatheads, will be winning the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship match. Matthew Thomas, thoughts, predictions?
I'm going to say Kenny Omega just so you don't get the points.
But outside of the draft, what do you think about this match?
But no, doesn't Meathead have the Elite too?
I do have the Elite. It's okay. Matthew, thoughts on the match?
Omega's kind of a hometown boy. I'm going to say he gets the win.
See, here's the thing with the Elite, Linda. The Elite are actually in a 10-man match, so I won't be taking any Kenny Omega points. I'll just be taking my Elite points. See how that works?
Yeah. But I'm going to go with you. I think Will Ospreay, they've been showing him a lot lately and how
guy's a star. I mean, he's a straight up star. Yeah,
we're getting to see him more and more, and I think he's going to take it.
Like out of this Forbidden Door stuff that we've had the last couple of years, Okada, Tanahashi, yeah, I'm sure. Tanahashi, to me, I was never a Bret Hart guy, but Tanahashi's like the Bret Hart. Yeah, you're great. We know you know how to wrestle. But give me Okada, give me Will Ospreay, give me an older generation, a newer generation. So I'm a big fan. So you think Will Ospreay, huh?
I do.
All right. Let's move on to the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. Sonata, one of the 5 guys, I guess, taking on Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Again, I look at a picture of Sonata, the suit, the tie. He looks like the Cody Rhodes of AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. He looks like a champion. Linda.
I'm going to go with Sonata. I think that this will help feed into this fan turn that at least in Canada we got, I think, a really strong negative. I don't say negative, but just like, again, I'm gonna go with the booze. That right. We saw Jungle Boy looking frustrated from it, so I think he will not win. And then when they get back to the States, I think the booze will continue because you follow the leader, right? Meaning like the crowd reaction. So I think this is a way to get a character shift for Jungle Boy as well, which I don't think is a bad idea.
Yeah, and I don't mind that either. So here's the picture AEW has up on their website. It's a snap of the Jungle Boy challenging him, right? This is why I don't buy this match. Jungle Boy is just an inch taller than Renee Young. He's got his friend wearing a jack-o'-lantern t-shirt on it that says FTW. They look like two kids, and he looks sad. Hey, I'll challenge you. I don't get it. Suspend my disbelief. I love these guys as talents, right? I'm a huge Hook fan. It just doesn't look right. Matthew Thomas.
Yeah, I think the Five Guys guy gets the win here.
Okay, Five Guys guy. AEW International Championship match. Orange Cassidy, who's also on the team they call Meatheads, taking on the New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV Champion Zack Sabre Jr., star in the making as well. Ring of Honor Pure Champion Shibata and the Jericho Appreciation Society's Daniel Garcia. I need to see Daniel Garcia do the dancing Ricky Starks did on the top rope last night. Did you see when they were holding up and he kept doing that was because Daniel Garcia does that too, actually. That's one of his moves. It's pretty hilarious. Matthew, thoughts, predictions?
I never got to see Taker do that, though.
Well, that's not old school. All right, Matthew, thoughts, predictions? Does Orange Cassidy walk out of this again with the belt?
I'm going to go team AEW here.
Okay. It's not a team. It's a four-way match.
Yeah, that's... Oh.
Pick one individual, Matthew Thomas.
I got confused. Ricky Stark?
Ricky Stark is not in the match. Orange Cassidy, Zack Sabre Jr., right? Shibata, Daniel Garcia. Four-way match for the International Championship.
Cassidy's retained this thing through everybody. I'm going to go Cassidy here.
Okay, Linda Kay.
I think so too. But I think we'll get something more with Garcia and Sabre. Wait, who? Because he's a ROH TV champion, right?
Sabre Jr. is the TV champion.
So, because Garcia wants it back, so I think due to them being all up in each other's faces and whatnot, that
so Orange Cassidy sneaks out the win here, which is another title fence for the team they call Meatheads. So
I got a little distracted by Mark Calloway pelvic thrust there.
5-on-5 grudge match, the Blackpool Combat Club. Go ahead, Linda.
I was gonna say, speaking of pelvic thrust, how about Will Ospreay, huh?
Yeah, he was doing that too. Way too much pelvic thrusting in my weekly wrestling. The Blackpool Combat Club, Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta. Also teaming up with Takeshita and Umino. I don't know who the hell Umino is. Taking on the Elite, Adam Page, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, Eddie Kingston, and Tomohiro Ishii. I've seen Ishii before, but I've only seen him twice. So, who wins, Linda, in this 5-on-5? The Blackpool Combat Club with friends or the Elite with friends?
Oh, man, this is a tough one. Since I feel Bryan Danielson will get the win earlier, makes me feel like maybe Blackpool. You know what? I was gonna say the Elite, but I'm gonna go with BCC because we're platforming them being really strong here. We got Bryan Danielson, Bryan Danielson, who I feel will get the victory. I mean, with BCC helping, but that's fine. He gets that win, right? I think that's going to take place here as well. Also, I mean, we got Takeshita, who's a huge star in the making as well,
and he's all Elite now, so he now works with AEW. Yeah,
he's affiliated with the Blackpool Combat Club
and Don Callis. Yep.
I mean, having him aligned with that, I feel they'll come off with the win.
Matthew, Eddie Kingston seems like the odd duck here, right? He's hanging out with the Young Bucks and Adam Page. Does Eddie Kingston cause an issue and make them lose the match?
I don't know, but I think with Punk pretty much having his own show now, you need to keep the Elite strong in the process. You can't have them just go by the wayside. So I'm picking the Elite with friends here.
All right, Matthew. A trio's bout Darby Allin, Sting, and Naito against the Suki Gods. Suzuki gods. That's what they're called. Lace Suzuki gods. Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, and Sammy Guevara. You know, I love how they carried this thing on where never look Minoru Suzuki in the eyes. But I want Sting and Jericho. And I think we stumbled on it earlier. Sting Jericho at the big show in London.
Yeah, and I think you get there. I think you have Sting and Darby with their pal picking up this win here.
Yeah. Okay. Linda, thoughts?
I think so too. I mean, I have Jericho on Team Long Time and Last Time, but honestly, even though he's on every pay-per-view, I think he loses every time because he's doing the job putting. Well, I mean, not like he needs to for Sting or Darby, but he doesn't need, because he's so great. He doesn't necessarily need the win, meaning need, what we discuss all the time. But
you're just getting he showed up points, kind of like a participation trophy.
Well, hey, I'm getting the points. Thank you, Jericho. But I do believe this will lead to Sting and Jericho for All In, which would be phenomenal.
All right.
No pun intended.
So AEW Women's World Championship match, it's going to be Toni Storm against the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion, Willow Nightingale. Again, there's a rocket on Willow Nightingale's back. But does she win this match as well, or do they keep Toni Storm strong with a possible returning Thunder Rosa? Linda.
Keep it on Toni because you've got the Outcast doing their thing, and they'll be at ringside. I don't think they're banned from this match. I think Sky Blue might be out there to help Willow again, but I don't believe the titles for the AEW title will change hands.
Right. Matthew Thomas, is there a chance that Thunder Rosa shows up right after this match and goes after Toni Storm? Because Thunderstorm was a team until Thunder got hurt.
It's possible, but I think Toni hasn't had that title the length of time she needs it to drop it. So I think she's going to. And Willow kind of has a title too. So I think Toni Storm.
Well, everybody gets a title here. The CM Punk Kojima match is the opening round of the Owen Hart Foundation's Men Tournament. And CM Punk has a match on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, you didn't bring Punk back to lose. Punk here to advance in the tournament.
Okay.
Yep.
Linda, thoughts?
What Matthew Thomas said.
Yeah, okay. Let's go singles match. Adam Cole versus Filthy Tom Lawler. I like the name Filthy. It makes me think of Dirty Dango. I mean, that's who his partner needs to be, is Dirty Dango and Filthy Lawler. Because Dirty Dango's entrance music is absolutely tremendous.
And let's bring in Nasty Boy now as well.
Yeah, there you go. You're going to get everything dirty, nasty, and filthy. Adam Cole and Tom Lawler, Linda.
Adam Cole, baby.
Okay, Matthew Thomas.
I got to say, Adam Cole for my points. I'm got to get some AEW points here.
Hey, in the 0 hour, which is before the pay-per-view, the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament quarterfinal will be Ring of Honor World's Women Champion, the Fallen Goddess Athena, taking on Billy Starks. Starks Industries, you go first. Who's winning this match?
I'm going to go Billy Starks because Athena's got her ROH thing. I think if they're going to try to keep those somewhat separate, you need a surprise victory here.
Okay, and Linda?
We had Billy Starks, not at OVW this year, in the Women's Nightmare Rumble, so it was great to meet her. Young star, she is tremendous. I mean, what she did in that ring, she didn't win the OVW Women's Nightmare Rumble, but what we saw for that little bit, very, very impressive. We know she's been around the world, 18 years old, maybe 19.
Been around the world, and I can't find my baby. We haven't seen much of Billy Starks on AEW television per se, so I think that Athena's gonna get this win. Okay. That is Forbidden Door tonight on all your cable providers, your streaming services. Find a way to watch it. We will be talking about it next week right here on PWR Today. Let's get to the PWR draft real quick before we head out here. But before we do that, the video game comes out. AEW Fight Forever released this Thursday. Fight Forever going to have a roster full of all the big names. I mean, I'm just looking at the splash page, and all the names that you would want to play as, they're going to be on there. Britt Baker, Adam Cole, Wardlow, Orange Cassidy. He's going to have, his hands in pockets move. You're going to have Sting. You're going to have Darby Allin. You're going to have the Bucks, Omega, MJF, Jericho, Jade Cargill, Jungle Boy, Daniel Bryan Danielson. All of these guys are all going to be on there. Cannot wait to play the game. But now let's talk PWR draft. Again, leading the draft of the 2023-2024. She's smiling. She's happy. She's wearing the King of Sports t-shirt from collar and elbow. It's Team Longtime, Linda Kay at 730 points. Team Fear Boners. So every time you scare him, folks, he might be aroused. It's Matthew Thomas at 665. And taking over the lead after this pay-per-view tonight, the team they call Meatheads, the reigning and defending champion, the undisputed champion, the team they call Meatheads, the man they call Meathead, myself, 445. Folks, I can't wait to see you next week. I can't wait to watch Forbidden Door tonight. So for Matthew Thomas, for Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you next week. So long, everyone.